Welcome back. Imagine a machine so powerful, so overbuilt, and so luxurious. It completely erases the line between a military-grade off-roader and a five-star hotel suite. A vehicle that doesn't just go anywhere. It dominates everything in its path. This is the $299,000 2026 Toyota HyperMax 6x6 motorhome, and what it can do might actually surprise you. At first glance, it looks unreal, like something pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie. 6 massive wheels, an aggressive, armored stance, a body that feels less like a vehicle and more like a moving fortress. But this isn't just about looks. Every inch of this machine was designed with one goal in mind: total freedom. The kind of freedom where roads don't matter, weather doesn't matter, and even civilization becomes optional. But here's where it gets interesting, because beneath that intimidating exterior lies something completely unexpected. The HyperMax 6x6 is built on a heavily modified ultra-duty chassis, engineered to handle extreme terrain without breaking a sweat. And when we say extreme, we're not talking about dirt roads or gravel trails. We're talking deep mud, Rocky Mountain passes, desert dunes, and even snow-covered wilderness where most vehicles wouldn't last 5 minutes. And yet, despite all that rugged capability, this machine offers something you wouldn't expect from a 6-wheeled beast. Comfort. Step inside, and suddenly, everything changes. The harsh, aggressive exterior disappears, replaced by a calm, luxurious living space that feels more like a boutique hotel than an off-road vehicle. Soft ambient lighting wraps around premium leather seating. Wood finishes add warmth. And the layout is designed to maximize space in ways that feel almost impossible for something built to conquer the wild. But don't get too comfortable yet, because what powers this machine is where things start to get truly insane. Under the hood, the HyperMax is rumored to carry a next-generation twin-turbo diesel hybrid system, and that combination is no accident. Diesel brings the torque, massive, unstoppable pulling power. The hybrid system adds efficiency, instant response, and a surprising level of silence when needed. Together, they create a powertrain that can push this giant through terrain that would stop even heavy-duty trucks. But here's the twist. It's not just about power. The real magic lies in how that power is used. Each axle is intelligently controlled, allowing torque to be distributed exactly where it's needed. That means when one wheel slips, the others take over instantly. It's like the vehicle is thinking for itself, adapting to the terrain in real time. And just when you think that's impressive, there's something even more surprising coming. The 6-wheel drive system isn't just for traction. It also increases stability in ways most drivers have never experienced. On steep inclines, uneven ground, or loose surfaces, the HyperMax remains planted, almost as if it refuses to lose control. It gives the driver a level of confidence that feels unnatural at first, like you're breaking the rules of what a vehicle should be able to do. But the real reason this machine exists is something very few people know. It wasn't just built for adventure. It was built for independence. In a world where more people are looking to escape crowded cities and explore remote environments, vehicles like the HyperMax represent a shift in how we think about travel. This isn't about weekend camping anymore. This is about living anywhere, going anywhere, and staying there as long as you want. And that's where things get even more interesting, because this motorhome isn't just a place to sleep. It's a fully self-sufficient system. Solar panels integrated into the roof quietly generate power throughout the day. Advanced battery systems store that energy, allowing you to run everything inside, from lighting to appliances, without needing external support. But wait, because that's still not the most impressive part. The water system is designed for long-term independence. Filtration technology allows you to purify natural water sources, meaning rivers, lakes, and streams can become your supply. Combined with large storage tanks, it gives you the ability to stay off-grid for extended periods, not days but weeks. And then there's the interior layout, which hides more surprises than you might expect. The main living area transforms effortlessly. Seating areas convert into sleeping spaces. Hidden compartments reveal storage solutions that maximize every inch. A compact yet fully equipped kitchen includes everything from induction cooking to refrigeration, all designed to work seamlessly within a mobile environment. But what really sets it apart is the bedroom. Tucked away in the rear, the sleeping area offers a level of comfort you wouldn't expect in something designed for extreme terrain. A full-size bed, sound insulation, climate control. It feels isolated from the outside world. Whether you're parked in the middle of a desert or on a snowy mountain, inside, it's calm, quiet, and controlled. And just when you think you've seen it all, there's another layer to this machine that changes everything. Technology. The HyperMax is packed with intelligent systems that go far beyond standard vehicles. A central control interface allows you to monitor everything: power usage, water levels, navigation, terrain conditions. It's like having a command center at your fingertips. And yes, it gets even more advanced. Driver assistance systems use cameras, sensors, and AI-based analysis to help navigate difficult terrain. In low visibility conditions or challenging environments, the vehicle can assist in choosing the best path forward. It doesn't replace the driver, but it enhances their ability in ways that feel almost futuristic. But here's a detail most people completely overlook, and it might be one of the most important. Durability. Every component of the HyperMax is designed to handle stress. Reinforced suspension systems absorb impacts that would damage standard vehicles. Heavy-duty tires are built to resist punctures and maintain grip in extreme conditions. Even the body structure is engineered to withstand harsh environments, from intense heat to freezing temperatures. And then comes the question everyone asks: why 6 wheels? The answer isn't just about traction. It's about load distribution. With the weight spread across 3 axles, the vehicle can carry more equipment, more supplies, more luxury, without compromising stability. It's what allows the HyperMax to be both a rugged off-roader and a fully equipped motorhome at the same time. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Despite its size and capability, the driving experience is surprisingly refined. Advanced suspension systems smooth out rough terrain. Steering is responsive, and noise levels are controlled to a point where long journeys feel comfortable, even relaxing. And what happened next surprised everyone who tested it, because instead of feeling like a heavy, slow machine, it feels controlled, confident, and capable of far more than its size suggests. But we're not done yet, because there's one feature that truly defines this vehicle: range. Thanks to its hybrid system and large fuel capacity, the HyperMax can travel incredible distances without needing to refuel. Combine that with its off-grid capabilities, and you're looking at a machine that can disappear into the wilderness for extended periods without relying on external infrastructure. And that changes everything, because suddenly travel isn't limited by roads, fuel stations, or campsites. It's defined only by how far you're willing to go. Now imagine this: you wake up in the middle of nowhere. No noise, no traffic, just open landscape stretching in every direction. You step outside and your vehicle, your home, your base, is ready to move whenever you are. That's the experience the HyperMax promises. But the most insane part is still coming. At $299,000, it might seem expensive, but when you break it down, it's not just a vehicle. It's a house. It's a power system. It's a survival unit. It's a luxury suite, all combined into one machine that can go places traditional homes never could. And that's why vehicles like this are becoming more relevant than ever, because they represent something bigger than transportation. They represent freedom. Freedom to explore without limits. Freedom to live differently. Freedom to disconnect from the world, or reconnect with it in a completely new way. And as technology continues to evolve, machines like the HyperMax are pushing boundaries we didn't even realize existed. But here's the final thought that stays with you. This isn't just about where it can go. It's about what it allows you to leave behind. Because when a machine gives you the ability to go anywhere, carry everything, and live comfortably while doing it, the idea of being tied to one place starts to feel outdated. And that might be the most powerful feature of all. Welcome back. What if I told you that the future of travel isn't a massive motorhome or a luxury hotel, but something small, intelligent, and shockingly advanced, built to follow you anywhere without sacrificing comfort. A machine so compact yet so luxurious, it's quietly redefining how we explore the world. And once you see what's inside, you may never look at traditional RVs the same way again. Because hidden behind its sleek, almost minimalist exterior is something that feels less like a vehicle and more like a glimpse into the future of living on the road. This is the 2026 Hyundai Porest Campervan RV, and at first glance, it doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't look oversized or aggressive. Instead, it feels calm, refined, and incredibly modern. Almost like it's been designed for a different kind of traveler. Someone who values freedom, but refuses to compromise on comfort. But that's exactly where the story begins to get interesting. Because what looks like a simple campervan is actually one of the most intelligently designed compact RVs ever created. And what's hiding inside will surprise you. The design alone tells you this isn't just another camper. Every line flows smoothly, every surface feels purposeful. The body is aerodynamic, reducing drag while improving efficiency. And that's something most RVs don't even try to achieve. Because traditionally, RVs are bulky, heavy, and inefficient. But this one, it challenges that idea completely. And just when you think it's all about looks, the engineering reveals something even more impressive. The Porest is built on a highly advanced platform that blends durability with smart weight distribution, meaning it feels stable even at higher speeds. Something that older campervans struggle with. And that stability isn't just about comfort. It's about confidence, especially on long journeys. But here's where things start to take a turn. Because the real magic of this campervan isn't on the outside. It's inside. Step into the Porest and suddenly you're no longer in a vehicle. You're in a compact luxury apartment on wheels. And the way the space is used is nothing short of genius. Every inch has been carefully designed, not just to save space, but to transform it. The seating area can shift and adapt depending on your needs. Daytime lounging turns into nighttime sleeping in seconds, and it doesn't feel cramped or mechanical. It feels smooth, almost effortless. But that's not even the most surprising part, because hidden within these transformations is a level of technology that most people wouldn't expect in something this size. The lighting system, for example, isn't just functional, it's atmospheric. It adjusts based on time of day, creating a warm, relaxing environment at night and a bright, energizing space during the day. And then there's the kitchen. Yes, a full kitchen in something this compact, but not just any kitchen. A smart kitchen, equipped with modern appliances, clever storage compartments, and foldable surfaces that appear when you need them and disappear when you don't. And just when you think that's enough, the story goes deeper, because the bathroom is where things get truly unexpected. Most campervans treat bathrooms as an afterthought. Small, cramped, and uncomfortable. But here, it feels intentional. A fully integrated wet bath system. Compact, yet efficient. Designed to give you everything you need without wasting space. And yet, despite all of this, we're still only scratching the surface, because the real innovation lies in how this entire system works together. The Porest isn't just a collection of features. It's a connected ecosystem. Everything is controlled through a central smart interface. Lighting, temperature, water usage, battery levels, all at your fingertips. And this is where it starts to feel like the future. But the reason this campervan exists is something very few people talk about. It's not just about luxury, it's about independence. Traditional RVs rely heavily on external hookups, electricity, water, even internet, but the Porest is designed to reduce that dependency. Solar panels integrated into the roof quietly generate power throughout the day, feeding into an advanced battery system that keeps everything running. And that means you can go further, stay longer, and explore deeper without worrying about infrastructure. But here's something even more fascinating. This system doesn't just store energy. It manages it, intelligently distributing power based on usage, prioritizing essential systems, and optimizing efficiency without you even noticing. And suddenly, you're not just off-grid, you're comfortably off-grid. And that changes everything, because now, the idea of travel becomes something completely different. You're no longer limited to campsites or crowded RV parks. You can wake up by a quiet lake, park near a mountain range, or simply stop wherever the road takes you, and still have everything you need. But just when you think it can't get any more advanced, there's another layer to uncover, because driving this camper van feels nothing like driving an RV. It's smooth, responsive, and surprisingly easy to handle. And that's because it's built with modern driving assistance systems, the kind you'd expect in high-end passenger vehicles. Lane assist, adaptive cruise control, collision avoidance, all working quietly in the background, making long drives less tiring and much safer. And what happened next surprised everyone, because once people started using it, they realized something unexpected. This wasn't just a travel vehicle, it was a lifestyle shift. People began using it not just for vacations, but for remote work, long-term travel, even full-time living. And that's where the Porous truly stands apart from older RVs. Because older models were built for occasional use, this one is built for everyday life. And that's a huge difference. But here's a little-known detail that makes this story even more interesting. The materials used inside the Porous are carefully selected not just for durability, but for sustainability. Lightweight composites, eco-friendly fabrics, energy-efficient systems. It's not just about luxury, it's about responsible design. But now, we're getting closer to the most insane part of this entire machine. Because everything we've talked about so far, design, comfort, technology, it all leads to one thing: freedom, real freedom, the kind where you're not tied down by locations, schedules, or limitations. And the Porous doesn't just offer that, it enhances it. Imagine waking up to a sunrise in a completely new place, making coffee in your compact kitchen, stepping outside into nature, and knowing that everything you need is right behind you. But that's not even the peak of what this campervan represents. Because the biggest impact of something like this isn't just on travel, it's on how we think about living. As cities become more crowded and traditional housing becomes more expensive, vehicles like the Porous begin to offer an alternative, a way to live differently, more simply, more freely, and more connected to the world around you. And that idea is powerful because it challenges everything we've been used to, but at the same time, it feels incredibly natural. And as the story comes to an end, one thing becomes clear: the 2026 Hyundai Porous Campervan RV isn't just another vehicle. It's a glimpse into a future where travel and living are no longer separate, where comfort doesn't require size, and where freedom doesn't come with compromise. It's quiet, intelligent, and surprisingly revolutionary. And once you understand what it offers, you start to realize this isn't just the future of campervans. This might be the future of life on the road. Welcome back. Imagine a vehicle so unexpected, so quietly luxurious, that it turns one of America's most ordinary work vans into a rolling private jet on wheels. A machine that looks familiar on the outside, but inside feels like something built for celebrities, long-haul dreamers, and people who refuse to travel like everyone else. And the strangest part is, most people driving past it have no idea what they're looking at. Because this is the 2026 GMC Savannah Explorer conversion van, and it might just be the most underrated luxury vehicle on the road today. At first glance, it doesn't try to scream for attention. No aggressive futuristic lines, no oversized glowing badges. Just that classic, boxy silhouette that has been part of American roads for decades. The kind of shape you'd expect to see delivering packages or carrying tools to a job site. And that's exactly why what's hidden inside feels almost unreal. Because the moment the door opens, everything you thought you knew about vans disappears. But before we step inside, you need to understand why this vehicle even exists. Because the story behind it is what makes it truly fascinating. For years, the world moved toward SUVs, crossovers, and electric vehicles. Comfort improved, technology advanced, but something got lost along the way. The feeling of true road trip freedom. The ability to stretch out, relax, and travel long distances without feeling cramped or restricted. And while most manufacturers chase trends, a small group of builders saw an opportunity, not to reinvent the wheel, but to reimagine something people had already forgotten: the full-size conversion van. And that's where the Savannah Explorer comes in. Built on the foundation of the rugged GMC Savannah, a platform known for durability and reliability, this vehicle doesn't just upgrade the interior, it transforms the entire experience of travel. But that's not even the most surprising part, because what happens when you step inside feels less like entering a van, and more like stepping into a private lounge designed to move. Soft ambient lighting wraps around the cabin. Not harsh, not distracting, but carefully tuned to create a calm, premium atmosphere. The kind of lighting you'd expect in a high-end hotel suite. The seats, they're not just seats. They're oversized captain's chairs, wrapped in hand-stitched leather, designed to recline, swivel, and adjust in ways that make long journeys feel almost effortless. You don't sit in them, you sink into them. And just when you think you've seen it all, you notice the details most people would miss. Real wood trim, polished metal accents, hidden storage compartments. Every surface carefully chosen. Every texture designed to feel expensive without being overwhelming. But the real magic begins when the technology comes to life. Because this van isn't just about comfort, it's about control. Each passenger has access to personalized settings. Lighting, climate, entertainment, all adjustable with the touch of a button, or sometimes, without even touching anything at all. Large high-definition screens fold down from the ceiling, transforming the cabin into a mobile cinema. Crisp visuals, deep sound, and enough clarity to make you forget you're even moving. And yet, this is still only the beginning. Because what makes the 2026 version truly different is how seamlessly it blends old-school strength with modern innovation. Underneath all that luxury is a machine built to go the distance. Powerful engine options, including a proven V8 platform, delivering the kind of reliability that made the Savannah name trusted for decades. This isn't a fragile luxury car that avoids long trips. It's a vehicle designed to embrace them. And that combination creates something rare, something almost contradictory. A luxury vehicle that doesn't sacrifice toughness. But here's where things get even more interesting. Most people assume vehicles like this are only for celebrities or wealthy collectors. And while it's true that many high-profile clients choose conversion vans for privacy and comfort, the real reason they exist goes deeper than that. It's about space, not just physical space but mental space. In a world where everything feels fast, crowded, and constantly connected, the Savannah Explorer creates a different kind of environment. One where you can disconnect, relax, and actually enjoy the journey. And that's something very few modern vehicles can offer. But wait, because there's a detail hidden in plain sight that makes this van even more unique. Unlike factory-built luxury vehicles, each Explorer conversion is often customized, meaning no two vans are exactly the same. From seating layouts to entertainment systems, from color schemes to added features like mini refrigerators, fold-out tables, or even workstations, owners can shape the interior to match their lifestyle. Some turn it into a mobile office, others into a family road trip machine, and some into something closer to a private retreat on wheels. And that flexibility is what keeps the segment alive, even as the rest of the industry moves in completely different directions. But the real turning point in the story of this van comes when you take it out on the road. Because luxury is one thing when you're parked, but completely different when you're moving at highway speeds. And this is where the engineering quietly proves itself. Enhanced suspension systems smooth out rough roads. Improved insulation reduces noise to almost nothing, and the driving experience, while still grounded in a traditional van platform, feels more refined than you'd expect. You don't feel every bump. You don't hear every sound. Instead, you glide. And that changes everything. Because suddenly, long drives don't feel like something to endure. They feel like something to look forward to. But here's a surprising fact most people don't know. Conversion vans like the Savannah Explorer were once at the peak of American road culture in the 70s and 80s. Customized, expressive, sometimes even wild in design. They represented freedom, individuality, and adventure. Then, They faded away. SUVs took over, minivans became more practical. And the conversion van quietly disappeared from mainstream attention. Until now. Because what we're seeing with the 2026 model isn't just a product. It's a revival. A modern reinterpretation of something that once defined an era. Because today, people are rediscovering road trips, valuing experiences over destinations, wanting vehicles that offer more than just transportation. And the Savannah Explorer delivers exactly that. But just when you think this story is about comfort and nostalgia, there's another layer waiting to be revealed. Privacy. In a world filled with cameras, constant connectivity, and little personal space, this van offers something rare. Tinted windows, partition options, and a cabin designed to keep the outside world outside. For some, that's a luxury. For others, it's a necessity. And that's why you'll often find vehicles like this used by executives, artists, and travelers who need a quiet space between destinations. But here's the twist. Despite everything it offers, the Savannah Explorer doesn't try to compete directly with ultra-luxury brands like Rolls-Royce or Bentley. Instead, it creates its own category. Because no traditional luxury car can offer this level of interior space, this level of customization, or this unique balance between comfort and practicality. And that's what makes it so fascinating. It doesn't follow the rules. It doesn't need to. And that brings us to one of the most insane aspects of this vehicle. The way it transforms time. Because inside this van, time feels different. A 2-hour drive feels like a short break. A long journey feels like a relaxing experience. And for many owners, the vehicle becomes a place where ideas happen, conversations deepen, and memories are created. It's not just about getting somewhere. It's about what happens along the way. And that's something most modern vehicles have forgotten. But perhaps the most powerful part of this story isn't the technology, or the design, or even the comfort. It's the feeling. The feeling of stepping into something familiar and discovering something completely unexpected. The feeling of reclaiming the road, not as a necessity, but as an experience. And the realization that sometimes the most extraordinary innovations aren't about creating something entirely new, but about bringing something back in a way no one saw coming. Because the 2026 GMC Savannah Explorer conversion van isn't just a vehicle. It's a reminder that even in a world obsessed with the future, there's still room for reinvention, for comfort, and for the kind of travel that makes the journey just as important as the destination. And once you experience it, the road never feels the same again. Welcome back. What if I told you there's a machine so powerful, so extreme, that it was never really meant for public roads? A vehicle built not just to survive the harshest deserts on Earth, but to dominate them. A 6x6 giant that looks more like a military experiment than something you could actually drive. And yet, it exists. Today, you're about to witness something few people have ever seen up close. The 2026 Scania 6x6 Desert Conqueror. A monster Overland rig designed to go where even the toughest trucks hesitate. And trust me, what makes this machine truly special is not what you see at first glance. It's what's hidden underneath, and we'll get to that in just a moment. At first look, the Desert Conqueror feels almost unreal. Its massive stance towers over ordinary vehicles, with 6 enormous wheels planted firmly on the ground like a predator ready to move. The body is sculpted for function, not just appearance. Every angle, every line is designed to cut through sandstorms, handle brutal terrain, and maintain stability in conditions that would stop most machines instantly. But this isn't just about looking aggressive. There's a deeper reason behind this: design. And it changes everything. Because unlike standard trucks, this 6x6 configuration isn't just for show. All 6 wheels are powered, meaning traction is nearly unstoppable. Whether it's soft desert sand, rocky trails, or steep dunes, this machine doesn't struggle. It adapts. But that's only the beginning of what makes it so insane. Step closer and you start to notice the scale of engineering involved. The suspension system alone feels like something taken from heavy military transport. Long travel, heavy-duty components allow each wheel to move independently, absorbing shocks and keeping the vehicle stable even when the terrain becomes unpredictable. And here's where things get interesting, because the suspension isn't just tough. It's smart. The Desert Conqueror uses an adaptive suspension system that constantly adjusts based on terrain conditions. Sensors monitor load distribution, wheel position, and surface grip in real time, meaning the truck is always optimizing itself without the driver even noticing. But that's not even the most shocking part. Under the hood lies the real heart of this beast. A high-torque diesel engine engineered specifically for extreme environments. We're talking about massive pulling power, the kind that allows this vehicle to climb dunes that look impossible. And yet, despite its size and power, it's surprisingly efficient for what it is. Because this machine wasn't just built to perform. It was built to survive long expeditions far from civilization. And that leads to something very few people know. The Desert Conqueror isn't just a truck. It's a fully functional overland base. A moving fortress designed for long-distance exploration in the most remote regions on Earth. But we'll come back to that in a second. Inside the cabin, things take a completely different turn. Instead of a rough, industrial feel, you're greeted with a surprisingly refined interior, high-end materials, digital displays, and a layout designed for long hours behind the wheel. Everything feels intentional. Everything feels controlled. But hidden within this comfort is a layer of advanced technology that most drivers will never fully use. The dashboard is packed with intelligent systems, terrain management modes, real-time diagnostics, satellite navigation designed for off-grid travel, even communication systems that allow connection in areas where regular networks simply don't exist. And here's where the story takes another twist, because this truck isn't just designed for adventure. It's designed for isolation. Imagine being hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest road. No signal, no help, nothing but endless sand. This is exactly where the Desert Conqueror thrives, and the real reason it exists is something very few people talk about. Extreme expedition missions, scientific exploration, and even specialized operations in environments too dangerous for standard vehicles. But wait, because what happens when this machine is fully loaded is even more impressive. The rear section can be configured into a complete living module. We're talking sleeping quarters, storage systems, water tanks, power supply units, even compact kitchens. Everything needed to live off-grid for extended periods. And the craziest part, it can carry all of this without compromising performance. That's because of its reinforced chassis, built to handle massive weight while maintaining balance across all 6 wheels. The distribution system ensures that no single axle is overloaded, which means stability remains intact even under extreme conditions. But there's another detail hidden here that makes this truck even more unstoppable. The tires, these aren't ordinary off-road tires. They're specially designed for desert conditions, capable of adjusting pressure on the fly. Yes, you heard that right. The driver can control tire pressure while driving, lowering it for softer melu to increase grip, then raising it again for harder surfaces. And this simple feature completely transforms how the vehicle interacts with the terrain. And just when you think it can't get more advanced, it does. The Desert Conqueror includes a centralized control system that monitors every major function of the vehicle: engine performance, fuel usage, suspension behavior, tire pressure, even environmental conditions. Everything is displayed in real time, giving the driver complete awareness of what's happening at every moment. But what happens when something goes wrong out there in the middle of nowhere? This is where redundancy systems come into play. Backup power units, reinforced components, and fail-safe mechanisms ensure that even if one system fails, the vehicle can continue operating. Because in environments like this, a failure isn't an option. Now here's something that might surprise you. Despite its massive size and extreme capability, the Desert Conqueror is designed to be surprisingly manageable to drive. Advanced steering assistance and electronic controls make it feel more controlled than you'd expect. But don't be fooled. This is still a machine that demands respect. And here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Compared to older Overland trucks, this 2026 version represents a huge leap forward. Traditional rigs relied heavily on brute strength. But this one combines power with intelligence, making it not just stronger, but smarter. But the real turning point comes when you see it in action. Picture this: a vast desert landscape, endless dunes stretching to the horizon. Most vehicles would struggle within minutes. Tires sinking, engines overheating. But the Desert Conqueror moves forward with confidence. Climbing, descending, adapting. Almost like it understands the terrain beneath it. And then comes the moment that truly defines this machine. Steep dunes that look impossible to climb, angles that would stop even experienced off-road vehicles. And yet, with controlled power and precision, it ascends slowly, steadily, until it reaches the top. And that's when you realize, this isn't just a vehicle, it's a statement. But there's still one more thing that takes it to another level. The integration of hybrid support systems. While primarily diesel-powered, certain functions are assisted by electric components, improving efficiency, reducing strain on the engine, and allowing quieter operation when needed. And that opens up possibilities most people wouldn't expect. Because now, this machine isn't just about power, it's about versatility. And as we move toward the end of this story, everything comes together. The design, the engineering, the technology, the purpose, all leading to one conclusion. The 2026 Scania 6x6 Desert Conqueror is not just built for the road. It's built for places where roads don't exist. It represents a new era of overland travel, where machines are no longer limited by terrain, where exploration can go further than ever before, and where the line between vehicle and mobile base completely disappears. And maybe the most incredible part of all is that this level of capability is no longer just theoretical. It's real. So the next time you think about extreme vehicles, remember this one. A machine designed to conquer the harshest environments on Earth. A 6x6 giant that turns impossible journeys into reality. Because once you've seen what the Desert Conqueror can do, ordinary vehicles will never feel the same again. Imagine a vehicle so advanced, so luxurious, and so surreal that it doesn't feel like something built in 2026, but something pulled straight out of a futuristic sci-fi movie. A rolling mansion with the comfort of a 5-star hotel, the intelligence of a spaceship, and the power of a long-haul luxury cruiser. And yet, it's real. But here's the part that will surprise you the most. It was never designed just for travel. It was designed to completely change how humans live on the road. Now, what you're about to see is not just another motorhome. This is the 2026 Kia Supreme Motorhome, a machine that blurs the line between transportation and architecture. And if you think you've seen luxury RVs before, wait until you discover what this one can actually do. Because it goes far beyond anything Kia has ever built. At first glance, it already feels different. The body doesn't just look like a vehicle, it looks like a moving skyscraper. Smooth aerodynamic curves stretch across a massive frame, with illuminated lines flowing from front to back like glowing veins of energy. The front fascia is almost silent in design, with a wide digital grille that changes patterns depending on driving mode. It doesn't just greet you, it communicates with you. But the real shock begins when you realize how large it actually is. This isn't a typical motorhome platform. It's built on an extended adaptive chassis system that adjusts its height and stability based on terrain. And that's just the beginning, because what Kia has done underneath changes everything you think you know about road travel. As you step closer, the entrance door doesn't swing open. It dissolves upward in a smooth motion, like a luxury elevator. A soft ambient glow guides you inside, and the moment you enter, it feels less like stepping into a vehicle and more like entering a private penthouse suite suspended on wheels. But here's where things get even more interesting, because the interior is not static. It adapts. The entire living space uses modular transformation technology. Walls shift silently, furniture extends or retracts, and lighting changes based on your mood and time of day. One moment it's a spacious lounge for entertaining guests, and the next, it becomes a private cinema with a curved panoramic screen stretching across the entire front wall. And yet, this is still only the beginning. The seating area is wrapped in smart adaptive leather that adjusts temperature, firmness, and even posture support in real time. It responds to your body like it understands you. The floor beneath you subtly absorbs vibration from the road, making even rough terrain feel like floating on air. But what's truly fascinating is the silence. Even when the vehicle is moving at highway speeds, the interior remains almost completely quiet. That's because Kia has integrated a multi-layer acoustic isolation system combined with active noise cancellation embedded throughout the frame. And just when you think it can't get more advanced, the lighting system reacts. Every surface inside the Kia Supreme Motorhome is part of an intelligent environment network. The lighting isn't fixed. It reacts to your presence, your movement, even your emotional tone. Soft, warm tones for relaxation. Cool, minimal lighting for focus. Dynamic ambient waves when you're socializing. Feels alive. But the real secret of this motorhome lies not inside, but in how it moves. Because underneath all this luxury is one of the most advanced hybrid propulsion systems ever designed for a recreational vehicle. It combines electric torque engines with a next-generation hydrogen assist module, giving it both silent cruising capability and long-range endurance that pushes far beyond traditional limits. And here's where things take a surprising turn. Because this motorhome doesn't just drive. Thinks. Onboard artificial intelligence constantly analyzes road conditions, weather changes, traffic patterns, and even driver behavior. It adjusts suspension, steering response, and energy usage in real time. On long journeys, it learns your preferences so well that it begins to anticipate your needs before you even express them. But that's not even the most shocking part, because hidden within its structure is a self-expanding living system. When parked, the sides of the vehicle slowly extend outward, creating additional interior space. The living room becomes wider. The bedroom transforms into a suite-level sanctuary. Even the kitchen expands into a full culinary workspace with restaurant-grade equipment. And yes, it does all this automatically. Now imagine stopping in the middle of a mountain valley or beside a quiet ocean coast. Within minutes, this motorhome transforms from a vehicle into a luxury villa with panoramic glass walls that offer uninterrupted views of nature. It's no longer travel. It's living anywhere you want. But why would Kia build something like this? That question leads to one of the most interesting parts of this story. The 2026 Kia Supreme motorhome wasn't just designed for comfort. It was designed for a future where mobility and lifestyle merge into one. A world where people no longer separate home from travel. Instead, your home moves with you, adapts with you, and evolves with your journey. And here's something very few people know. Early prototype versions were tested in extreme environments across deserts, frozen landscapes, and high-altitude roads to ensure it could operate as a true global living system. It wasn't just tested for performance, it was tested for survival. But the innovation doesn't stop there. Inside the kitchen area, you'll find a fully AI-assisted cooking system. It scans ingredients, suggests meals based on your health profile, and can even prepare dishes autonomously using robotic precision arms hidden within the cabinetry. Imagine having a personal chef that never sleeps, never forgets, and never makes a mistake. And in the sleeping quarters, things become even more surreal. The bed adjusts its structure based on your sleep cycle. It tracks movement, heart rate, and breathing patterns, optimizing your rest environment automatically. If you're tired, the room darkens itself. If you wake up, gentle lighting simulates a natural sunrise. Feels less like technology and more like care. But just when you think the focus is entirely on luxury, there's another layer you didn't expect. Security. The Kia Supreme motorhome is equipped with an advanced defensive system that includes biometric entry, motion detection perimeter scanning, and autonomous threat response protocols. It can identify potential risks long before they become real problems. And in remote areas, it can even enter a protective lockdown mode, reinforcing structural integrity instantly. Still, there's one feature that changes everything about long-distance travel. The connectivity system. No matter where you are, deep in mountains, remote deserts, or coastal highways, this motorhome maintains uninterrupted global communication using a hybrid satellite and ground relay network. It means your mobile office, entertainment, and emergency systems never go offline. And here's where things take another unexpected turn. Because this system also connects to a global traveler network. Other Kia Supreme motorhome users can share routes, weather insights, and safe stop locations in real time. It creates a kind of moving community across continents. Now imagine this on a massive scale. Entire families living full-time on the road. Digital nomads working from panoramic mountain views. Retired travelers exploring continents without ever checking into a hotel. The idea of home begins to change completely. But the most emotional part of this machine isn't its technology. It's what it represents. Freedom. Freedom to go anywhere without sacrificing comfort. Freedom to live without boundaries. freedom to wake up in a different place every single day without losing the feeling of home. And just when you think we've seen everything, there's one final innovation that defines the Kia Supreme Motorhome. Can learn your life. Over time, it builds a digital environment model of your habits, preferences, and routines. It begins adjusting travel routes based on places you love, climates you enjoy, and experiences you seek. It doesn't just take you places, it guides your lifestyle. And that raises a powerful question. If your vehicle understands you better than most environments you've ever lived in, where does the machine end and your home begin? As we move toward the final moments of this story, it becomes clear that the 2026 Kia Supreme Motorhome is not just a product. It's a vision of the future of living itself. A future where homes are not fixed, where luxury is not stationary, where travel is not temporary. And perhaps the most surprising realization of all is that this future might be closer than we think. Because when a machine can transform into a home, when AI can understand human comfort better than traditional design, and when mobility becomes indistinguishable from lifestyle, the entire definition of living changes forever. And as the journey of the Kia Supreme Motorhome continues evolving, one thing is certain. This is not the end of travel innovation. It's only the beginning of a world where your home doesn't wait for you. It moves with you. Imagine driving a machine so massive it looks like it should shake the ground with every move. Yet it glides down the road like it's floating on air. A $420,000 luxury motorhome built on one of the most legendary truck platforms ever made. And the craziest part? It doesn't feel like a truck anymore. It feels like a private first-class mansion on wheels. But what makes the 2026 Kenworth W900 motorhome so unreal is not just how it looks. It's how it completely changes everything you think you know about heavy-duty travel. And wait until you see what it can really do on the open road. Because this isn't just a custom build. It's a transformation of an icon. The Kenworth W900 has been known for decades as a symbol of raw power, long-haul dominance, and classic American trucking. But in 2026, something unexpected happened. Engineers and luxury builders took that same legendary foundation and turned it into something almost unrecognizable. A motorhome that doesn't just carry you across countries. It makes the journey feel like part of the destination itself. And at first glance, you might not even believe it's real. The long hood, the polished chrome, the towering grille still scream Kenworth heritage. But then your eyes move back, and you see it. A fully extended luxury cabin seamlessly integrated behind the cab, stretching like a private jet fused with a high-end villa. And that's when you realize, this is not a truck conversion. This is a complete reinvention of road travel. But the real question is, how does something this massive actually drive like a dream? Because under all that luxury, the heart of the W900 is still alive. A powerful diesel engine built for endurance, torque, and long-distance hauling. But here's where things start to get interesting. This version has been refined, tuned, and paired with a next-generation suspension system that completely changes the ride experience. Instead of feeling like a heavy commercial truck, it responds with surprising smoothness, almost like it's reading the road before you even hit a bump. And that's just the beginning, because the moment you step inside, everything changes again. The door opens, and suddenly the world outside disappears. You're no longer in a truck. You're inside a luxury suite that could rival a five-star hotel in Dubai. Soft ambient lighting flows across handcrafted leather seats. Polished wood finishes reflect subtle golden tones. The air feels controlled, calm, and almost artificially perfect. And yet, everything is happening inside a machine that can cross continents without breaking a sweat. But what's even more surprising is how silent it feels. Despite its size, despite its engine, despite its weight, the cabin is engineered with advanced acoustic insulation that removes almost every trace of road noise. It doesn't just reduce sound, it erases it. And that creates a strange feeling, like you're floating through the world instead of driving through it. And just when you think you've seen it all, there's more waiting deeper inside. A full living space unfolds behind the driver's cabin. A lounge area designed like a modern apartment, complete with reclining sofas, a cinema-style entertainment system, and a hidden refrigerator built seamlessly into the cabinetry. Everything is designed with purpose. Nothing feels random. Every surface has a function. Every detail has intention. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Because this motorhome isn't just about comfort. It's about independence. Some versions of this build include full off-grid capabilities. Solar-assisted power systems quietly support onboard electronics. High-capacity battery storage keeps everything running even when the engine is off. And advanced climate control systems adjust automatically based on outside temperature, ensuring the interior always feels perfect, whether you're parked in freezing mountains or desert heat. And yet, there's still something more. Because around the middle of this machine lies one of its most unexpected secrets. Hidden beneath the luxury interior is an advanced structural reinforcement system inspired by aerospace engineering. This isn't just about strength. It's about balance. The entire motorhome is engineered to distribute weight evenly across its extended frame, reducing stress on the chassis even during long-distance travel. That's one of the reasons it doesn't feel like a traditional heavy rig. It feels stable, almost calm, even at highway speeds. But here's the twist very few people talk about. Most of these W900 motorhome conversions are not mass-produced. They are custom-built by specialist coach builders who spend months, sometimes years, refining each unit. Every single build becomes a one-of-one creation. No two are truly identical. That means owning one is not just about luxury. It's about exclusivity on a level most supercars can't even match. And that leads to something even more surprising. The driving experience. Because when you take this giant onto the road, something strange happens. You expect difficulty. You expect delay. You expect heaviness. But instead, the steering feels controlled, the acceleration feels deliberate, and the suspension absorbs imperfections like they never existed in the first place. It's almost like the road itself has been upgraded just for this vehicle. But the real shock comes when you push it long distance. Hours turn into effortless cruising. The cabin remains stable. The engine maintains its rhythm. And fatigue, which normally dominates long-haul driving, starts to fade away. It's not just transportation anymore. It becomes an experience of motion comfort that feels almost unnatural. And yet, there's still one feature that pushes this motorhome into another category entirely, because some 2026 configurations include intelligent driving assistance systems that can actively support lane control, adaptive cruise behavior, and even predictive terrain response. The vehicle doesn't just react, it anticipates. It studies road patterns, incline changes, and traffic flow to optimize performance in real time. And that creates a feeling that's hard to describe. Like the machine is quietly working with you instead of just being controlled by you. But what really makes this build unforgettable is not just technology or luxury. It's the emotional contrast. Outside, it's a raw, powerful, industrial beast, a symbol of strength and endurance. Inside, it's calm, warm, and almost silent. It feels like two completely different worlds fused into one machine. And somehow, they don't clash. They complement each other perfectly. And just when you think the story can't go any further, there's one final layer that changes everything. Because behind the luxury, behind the engineering, behind the performance, there is a deeper purpose to vehicles like this. They represent a shift in how people think about travel itself. Not just getting from point A to point B, but turning the journey into something meaningful, comfortable, and deeply personal. A space where you can live, work, rest, and explore without ever stepping out of your world. And the most insane part? This is only the beginning of what motorhome engineering is becoming. As technology evolves, these rigs are starting to blur the line between transportation, architecture, and intelligent systems. Some future concepts even hint at full automation, self-leveling stabilization systems, and fully integrated AI environments that adapt the interior based on your mood and habits. And when you think about it, the 2026 Kenworth W900 motorhome is not just a vehicle. It's a preview of where the future of travel is heading. A world where the road is no longer something you endure, but something you enjoy. And as you picture this massive machine rolling smoothly into the horizon, chrome glinting under the sun, cabin glowing softly inside like a moving sanctuary. One thing becomes clear. This isn't just about luxury. It's about redefining what it means to move through the world. And maybe, just maybe, the future of travel isn't in airports or hotels anymore. It might already be rolling down the highway in a $420,000 dream machine that glides like it was never meant to touch the ground at all. Welcome back. Imagine driving a home that doesn't stop when the road ends. A machine so powerful it can climb mountains, cross rivers, and roll through mud like it's nothing. Now imagine living inside that machine in total luxury. Sounds unreal, right? But what you're about to see might just be the most extreme motorhome ever built. And trust me, it only gets crazier from here. Today we're diving deep into the 2026 Max 6x6 motorhome, a heavy-duty monster that completely redefines what it means to travel. This isn't your typical RV. This is a full-scale off-road beast designed to go where almost no other motorhome can survive. And the reason it exists is something most people never expect. At first glance, it doesn't even look like a motorhome. It looks like a military truck straight out of a high-risk operation, massive stance, towering height, and 6 enormous wheels ready to grip any surface. But hidden inside that aggressive exterior is something that feels closer to a luxury apartment than a rugged vehicle. And that contrast is what makes this machine so fascinating. But before we step inside, you need to understand what makes this thing truly different. Because the story doesn't start with comfort. It starts with raw power. Underneath that giant body sits a heavy-duty Mack platform built for extreme loads and brutal conditions. This is the same kind of engineering used in construction, mining, and military operations, meaning this motorhome isn't just built to look tough. It actually is. And then comes the 6x6 drivetrain, 3 axles. All powered, delivering insane traction no matter the terrain. Sand, snow, rocks, mud, it doesn't matter. This machine just keeps moving. And what happens when you combine that with massive ground clearance is something most RV owners can only dream of. You're no longer limited to campsites or highways. You can literally take your home into places where there are no roads at all. But that's just the beginning. Because the real magic happens when you look closer at how this monster is designed. The suspension system is engineered to absorb punishment that would destroy normal vehicles. Every bump, every rock, every uneven surface is handled with control and stability. And yet, inside the cabin, you barely feel it. It's almost like the outside world disappears. But wait. Because what's powering this beast is even more impressive. This motorhome is equipped with a high-torque diesel engine that delivers massive pulling power. We're talking about the kind of strength needed to move several tons without hesitation. And yet, it does it smoothly, confidently, almost effortlessly. And here's something most people don't realize: vehicles like this aren't built for speed. They're built for endurance. The ability to keep going when everything else stops. And that's exactly what makes this machine so special. But that's not even the most shocking part. Because once you step inside, everything changes. The moment you enter, it feels like you've walked into a completely different world. Gone is the rugged, industrial look. Instead, you're surrounded by modern luxury, soft lighting, premium materials, and a layout designed for comfort. It's almost hard to believe that this is the same machine that can climb rocky hills and drive through mud. And just when you think you've seen it all, there's more. The living area is designed like a compact luxury apartment with a comfortable lounge space, a fully equipped kitchen, and smart storage solutions that maximize every inch. Everything is carefully planned so you can live here full-time without feeling cramped. But the real surprise comes when you realize how self-sufficient this motorhome is. It's built to operate off-grid for extended periods, meaning you don't need hookups, campsites, or external support. Solar panels, advanced battery systems, and large water tanks allow you to stay in remote locations for days, even weeks. And that changes everything. Because now, travel isn't about destinations. It's about freedom. You can wake up in the middle of a desert, spend the night in a forest, or park beside a mountain with no one else around. And that feeling is something very few vehicles can offer. But here's where things get even more interesting. There's a hidden reason why machines like this are becoming more popular. And it's not just about adventure. More people are starting to move away from traditional living. choosing mobility over stability, freedom over routine, and vehicles like this are designed for exactly that lifestyle. It's not just a motorhome, it's a complete way of living, and that shift is changing the entire concept of travel. But hold on, because we haven't even talked about the sleeping area yet. The bedroom is designed to feel calm and private, with a comfortable bed, smart lighting, and enough space to relax after a long journey. It's not oversized, but it's perfectly balanced, giving you everything you need without wasting space. And right next to it, a fully functional bathroom, something that's often compromised in smaller RVs. But not here. This motorhome proves that you don't have to sacrifice comfort just because you're off-road. But just when you think this vehicle is all about comfort and capability, there's another layer to it: technology. The dashboard is packed with advanced systems that give the driver full control, navigation, terrain monitoring, camera views, and vehicle diagnostics all in one place. It's designed to make even the toughest journeys manageable, and that's important, because driving something this big isn't easy. But with the right technology, it becomes surprisingly smooth. But here's a detail that often gets overlooked: visibility. Despite its size, the driving position is elevated and clear, giving you a commanding view of the road, or whatever lies ahead. And that sense of control is something drivers quickly appreciate. And yet, even with all this power and technology, there's still one question: why build something like this in the first place? The answer might surprise you. It's not just about luxury or even adventure, it's about access. There are places in the world that traditional vehicles simply can't reach. Remote locations where infrastructure doesn't exist. And for explorers, researchers, and even content creators, getting there changes everything. This motorhome is designed to unlock those places. But that's still not the most insane part, because when you compare it to regular motorhomes, the difference is almost unbelievable. A standard RV is limited to paved roads and mild terrain, maybe a dirt path if you're lucky. But this is a completely different category. It's like comparing a city car to a mountain tank. And that difference opens up possibilities most people never even consider. But as impressive as it is, there's one challenge that comes with owning something like this: cost. Machines like this don't come cheap. They're built with specialized components, custom engineering, and high-end materials, which means the price can easily reach into the hundreds of thousands, sometimes even more. And yet, for those who can afford it, it's not just a purchase. It's an investment in a lifestyle, a way to explore the world without limits. And that idea alone is powerful. But wait, because we're about to get to the part that truly defines this machine. Its most extreme feature. This motorhome isn't just capable of going off-road. It's designed to stay there. Everything from its fuel capacity to its storage systems is built for long-distance, remote travel, meaning you can go further, stay longer, and rely less on civilization. And that changes the entire experience of travel. You're no longer passing through places. You're living in them, and that's something very few vehicles can offer. But here's the final twist. Despite all its size, power, and capability, this machine represents something simple: freedom. The freedom to move, to explore, to live differently, and in a world where everything feels structured and predictable. That kind of freedom is rare. The 2026 Max 6x6 motorhome isn't just a vehicle. It's a statement that says you don't have to follow the road. You can create your own. And once you experience that, there's no going back. Because the real journey doesn't begin when you reach your destination. It begins the moment the road disappears.